That point where you make up your mind is where your life changes. That's where failure changes to success. It is your decision, not your condition, that determines your destiny. I promise you, where you're getting your best results will always lean towards your unique ability. Ultimately, what you focus on will define your identity. It will move from, I can't do this, I don't have this, to I am not this. It doesn't take long for, I don't have money, to become, I am poor. What you focus on ultimately will shape your sense of identity, because what you believe is what you become.
Whenever Dr. Sam speaks, your mind is going to be blown. Nothing less than what he always delivers.
He still doesn't run out of inspiration. Every time you listen to him, you are still inspired.
He's been doing this over many years. It's like he doesn't age doing it.
Just by mere meeting him, he has shifted my capacity.
Energetic, engaging, and filled with a lot of revelation and information that can change your life and move us from where we are now to the next level. Dr. Sam Adeyemi is the real deal.
It is when we find ourselves in very difficult circumstances, impossible circumstances, that actually is when our best potentials are released. We're tougher than the tough times. When we all live here, we want a scenario where we are able to shift things on a mass scale. A big thank you to Mr. Olajide for sharing and pouring out his heart today. Please, let's appreciate him. Dr. Nike is a born communicator. Amazing, amazing delivery. Thank you. There's an emotional dimension to change, right? Value shifts threaten identity. Thank you for listening to me, and thank you for attending the Shift Conference 2026.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the Shift Conference. Before I say anything, please can we put our hands together for Dr. Sam Adeyemi.
I was on a salary of 30,000 naira a month, and I asked myself, Gabriel, what else can you do to earn 30,000 naira a month? If I can sell one truck of diesel, I'll make 30,000 naira a month. When you have a strategy, you implement it.
You must be intentional about building strategic relationships. The power that you have is not absolute in the space, because you must control the space to work, to support you, to deliver value. Hard work is good. I didn't say don't work hard, but working smart is better. Working smart is about maximizing productivity using every resource that is available to you.
Your mindset is like a compass. If it's off just a little bit, it's going to take you a lot of time to reach your goals. See, money is a tool. And so what I realized is if a person can change their priorities around their money, they can change their outcome. If they can change their mindset around their money, they can change their money outcome. Our financial outcomes is a derivative of our money behaviors.
You cannot travel within and stand still without. When you see cannot, that's riding on the principle. If I could push the inside, the outside is designed to do everything possible to catch up with it.
It gives us great pleasure to unveil to you, reveal to the world for the first time, his latest book titled Shifts.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening,
and maybe good morning where you are. Amazing. I hope you've been having an amazing day. Awesome. I can see some regulars are connected already, and you may be joining us from YouTube or Facebook or X or Instagram. Thank you. Or LinkedIn. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is our Leadership Live. We are a global community. Oh, by the way, I'm on the move, right? But we just have to make this happen. Okay? All right. So, we are a global community of leaders, right? A global community of leaders. And when we say leaders or leadership in our community, our understanding is a bit different. We know that for a lot of people, it means when you say leader or leadership, our minds go to people who occupy high-level positions, especially in government. However, at a global level, the discussion about leadership has gone beyond that. Leadership, we understand now, is the ability to influence one or more people to achieve goals. The ability to influence. So the key word that describes the leadership dynamic is the word influence. And influence is the ability to alter the state of a person, place, or thing. All of us have influence. All of us have the capacity to alter a person's state. Test it on someone, right? The next time you have the opportunity, smile at them. The likelihood is that you get a smile back, right? You altered that person's state. All of us have the capacity for influence, but once we buy that old idea that it is the people that occupy the highest level, and because it's only few people that occupy those positions, right? Then we get to believe that it is few people that are born to lead, everybody else is born to follow. What that then does is that it makes most people to abandon their influence potential. They don't build it, they don't develop it, and they don't deploy it to make the world a better place. Once you see leadership as influence, you see leadership happening everywhere you look. Happening at the top, happening at the bottom, happening in between, all the way, happening everywhere, at homes, in communities, in organizations, in nations, right? So those of us in our community have committed ourselves to develop our influence potential and to deploy our influence to make the world better. Thank you once again for joining us, and it may even be your first time of joining us. We'd like to say a very, very special welcome. You may let us know the city and country that you are joining us from in the chat room, right? Thank you. Also, we ask you to please begin to deploy your influence. Use your influence. Share the link to this broadcast with someone right now, or repost on social media. Post or repost on social media, okay? Drag someone in. You know that the major problem, one of the major problems we have in our world right now, is the fact that you have a lot of people that occupy leadership positions that were not prepared for those positions. They're not sophisticated. They don't have the sophistication required, okay, to make the best use of those positions. That is why bringing someone in here may be one of the greatest gifts that you would give to someone. In fact, not only to someone, but to a family, an organization, or a nation. Because when one leader changes, a whole nation changes, right? An organization changes, a community changes, a family changes. All right, so thank you. Once again, for joining us today. Thank you so much. Oh, yes, I can see you. Ikejara, thank you for joining us from Nigeria. And Onyekachi, good to see you again from Benin City in Nigeria. Emmanuel is in Akure in Nigeria. And I can see Kola. Yes, thank you for joining us. Psalm 7, joining us again from Kumasi, Ghana. He's a powerful regular. Oh my God, today is your birthday. Happy birthday, Psalm 7. You've been amazing, an amazing part of this community. Thank you so much. All right. Good. Hope you've been having an amazing day. Pastor Tim Baker from Chicago. Thank you. Good to see you again. Yes, thank you, everyone. Yes, good to see you, Simpson Emmanuel from Wales, the UK. Good to see you. EQE official, London, UK. Nog, it's your first time from Abuja. Especially welcome. Rotimi is in Atlanta. Good to see you again. Thank you. Oh, Professor Taiwo Joe, our in-house professor of leadership. Good to have you here, Prof. Good to see you, Victor. Victor is joining us from Nigeria. Mary is in London, UK. Smart is in Abuja, Nigeria. Lawrence is in Lagos, Nigeria. Emmanuel in Lagos. Ugochukwu in Aba. Oh, Pastor Sayawe in Ontario, Canada. Good to see you. Good to see you. Olani in Dublin, Ireland. Good to see you. Margaret. Good to see you in Nigeria. Yes. Yes, Simpson. Good to see you from Wales. Yes, Sam Ihenacho from Nigeria. It's good to see you. Yes, good to see you. Akimbode is in Maryland in the US. Good to see you. Wow. P. Wansa from Kent in the UK. Feishike in Abuja. Joshua in Lagos. Moses in Enugu. Precious in Adekiti. Olusoji in Port Harcourt. Chinyere in Lagos. All in Nigeria. Pastor Timothy, it's good to see you again. Moweri, Nigeria. Good to see you. Spring Palace in Port Harcourt. Eniola, it's good to see you again from Lagos, Nigeria. Oh, yes, my sister Janet Parker. Good to see you again from Indiana. Isaiah is in Nigeria. Temi Tayo is in Ife, Nigeria. Dr. George is in Uyo. Good to see you. Rebecca in Ocean State. Godwin in Abuja. And Elliot in Ghana. Anne in Manchester. I see you. Kenneth in Lagos, Nigeria. Emmanuel in Abuja. Sarah in Alberta, Canada. Professor Elvis in the UK. Well, good to see you. Lagos. Yes. Godwin is in Abuja. Emmanuel in Lagos. Oh, Sheyi, my honorable, congratulations on your book. You're close to the launch of your book right now, right? Congratulations on that. And thank you for your leadership and service. Saliu, good to see you. Adetokunbo Yanagoa. Oh, good to see you, Gochuko. It's your first time. You're welcome. Dusky, babies, but God, good to see you. Yes. Emmanuel joining us from Lisbon, Portugal. Thank you. Wow. See, it's a global community, and I'm just so excited, right, to have everybody here. Olatuji is in Lagos, Nigeria. Ayola in Lagos, in Yero, from the UK, right? Paul in Port Harcourt. Yes, Dumbokima in Port Harcourt, Collins in Edo State, Elliot in Ghana. Amazing. Oh, sorry, we missed each other in Accra. All right, Tola in Lagos, Felix, Ifeanyi in Benin Republic, Habila in Kaduna, Admire is in Zimbabwe, Harare, Zimbabwe. Amazing. Eniola in Lagos, Ovie in Lagos, Agnes in Ghana, Felix is in Lagos, Sheyi in England, Emmanuel in Lisbon. Fantastic. Oh, thank you, Chinedu. Can't wait to see you in Calgary. Yes, we'll be there in May. Everyone there, watch out for the information. Daniel is in Lagos. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Now, this is how we run it, right? And we're going to be as fast as we can. So I'm going to just share some things for a few minutes, and then I'll allow for some questions, and then we'll call it a day. I'm aware that it is night already in some parts of the world. For some of us, it's really, really late, right? So we'll try and make this brief. Let me start from here. Many of us on this call are either in Nigeria or of Nigerian descent. And I must express how pained I am that some people went to attack a community in the middle belt of Nigeria, on the outskirts of Jos, Plateau State, and killed people Sunday night, right? And I understand there may be 30 people dead now. And you ask, okay, does that connect directly with leadership? Absolutely, it does. Absolutely, because leadership is influencing people. Now, that is not positive influence. That is bad influence. That is the worst level of influence, taking another life, right? And, we say here in our community that vision is at the heart of leadership. It's one of the most important qualities of a leader. And we define vision as the ability to see people, places, and things, not just the way they are, but the way they could be. The ability to see people, places, and things, not just the way they are, but the way they could be. So for people to go attack a community and kill people, right? It just shows a warped dimension to the use of the imagination. See? You can influence for good, you can influence for bad. You can alter the state of a person positively, you can alter their state negatively. And what breaks my heart is that we have an environment that produces such people that do not value human life, right? Instead of adding value to human life, instead of helping to realize the potential of human life, some people are there to destroy human life, to hurt human life, right? And we leaders create environments. We create environments. The last time something like this happened, just a few months back, I was trying to address the root causes, because that's what leaders have got to do. You can't just afford to cut leaves. You've got to dig out the roots. So I was trying to identify the root causes. How do we produce people like this? How does a nation produce people like this that do not see anything about just going to go kill people overnight? I have to look at the educational system, right? Because that's one of the fundamental places where the human mind is shaped. Yes, you've got the family. And if you've been a part of our community, you will have heard me say that the family is the most important leadership institution in the world. Why? Because a child's fundamental values in life are pretty much shaped, the psychologists say, by the age of 7. So the family plays a huge role. Then the family gets the school to partner with it to do more of the grooming, the cultivation of a human being. So I just remembered that we have a lot of out-of-school children in Nigeria. So I went online to check, and you have global organizations like UNICEF, right, United Nations Children Education Fund, saying that the number of out-of-school children in Nigeria is between 18 and 20 million. 18 to 20 million children out of school. If you've been a part of our community, you will have heard me say that I read somewhere many years ago on a banner, what goes into a mind comes out in a life. What goes into a mind comes out in a life. So if there is no intentional investment in the cultivation of the minds of the citizens, rather than innovate improvement, innovate breakthroughs that will add value to human life, people will be innovating destruction. Consider the fact that that data that I gave you is not new. It's not like a data that was created yesterday, right, or last year. It's been like that for many years. So what you then have right now all over the country is rampant crime, insecurity, kidnapping, terrorism, right? Banditry. These people did not fall from heaven. They were molded, they were created by a society. We are a leadership community, right? So I'm just saying that as someone who was born in Nigeria, my heart breaks. These things happen so often now that we've practically become numb to them, right? But it still doesn't take away the fact that one human life is worth more than all the material world put together. One human soul. The human being is the most valuable asset on this planet. And I don't see how anybody can succeed as a leader if you don't place value on human life. I thought I should start from there. We've said over and over again in our community, if you don't have the capacity to love, just step out of leadership, right? Go on a sabbatical, go find that capacity and come back to lead, because the probability of failure is very high when we do not have care, when we do not have empathy, right, for the people that we lead, when we are unable to feel what they feel, because that's what's supposed to fuel our passion, fuel our vision to want to do something, right, to want to solve problems. So I'm asking every one of us in our own roles, wherever we are, to demonstrate value for human life, right? That's the starting point. Demonstrate value for human life. Care for people. Don't hurt people. Instead, make people's lives better. And then, if we have the opportunity to speak up, let's speak up. If we have the opportunity to influence, right? If we occupy leadership positions where we can really make a difference, let's say you're a leader in government, right? Please do whatever it is you can do to protect and preserve human lives, right? I would say this specifically to Nigerians. There is no way out of this except a national discussion of the national vision. Where do we want the country to go? because it looks like there are just so many people with different visions, different ideas, and pulling the country in different directions. And we need to have that national sit down to discuss. I don't know what else to ask from government better than that. Where there is no vision, people perish. That's what King Solomon said. All right. Having said that, that leads me straight into what I want to discuss with us today. And it's about leading in the time of disruption, right? Leading in the time of disruption. Again, because we're in that kind of a season right now where there's a lot of disruption going on in our world. All right. A lot. So you have geopolitics first, right? So you have the war going on between the US and Israel on one side and Iran on the other side. And there's no running away from it. It's practically affecting everybody all over the world right now. Okay. And of course, leadership is playing a very huge role. It is. But let's focus on where you are as a person. And remember that leadership always starts with self-leadership. How are you leading yourself in these rapidly changing situations? We started this year, we were setting our goals, we were, making New Year resolutions. How many people factored in this war, right? And the disruption that it is causing, the inflation that it is causing around the world, the travel chaos that it is causing around the world, right? Especially in the Middle East. Many of us would usually travel to the Middle East or through the Middle East, right? Travel chaos. That's on one hand. You have technology, right? And the revolution being created by AI right now. And companies are laying people off, okay? Right now. So it's a season of uncertainty. It's a season of anxiety, right? So this is not the era of change. This is the era of constant disruption. Disruption is no longer episodic. It's not like you say, oh, there's this particular crisis. Oh, there's a recession and they happen once in a while. Oh, no. As you can see now, there are different factors of disruption that are happening at the same time, concurrently. So disruption is no longer episodic, it's now continuous. See, the way we leaders used to think and plan before, we assumed that things were going to be stable, okay, with occasional shocks, right? That was the assumption. Today, instability is the normal. Disruption is the normal, with brief moments of calm, right? That's how, was it 3 years ago that the war between Russia and Ukraine erupted, right? Also, the year had just begun. We're still having that. It's like that's been blurred out of our consciousness right now, but it is there. It's there. And now you have another one, right? Another war. There are other small wars around, because Pakistan and Afghanistan were bombing each other some few weeks back, right? So you still have some of those things going on. And then you have technology, right? Wow. And you're having, in terms of the economy, massive shifts, right? In the markets. Massive shifts in the markets going on right now. So I'm just saying, as a leader right now, if you're going to plan, if you're going to lead people, just be conscious of the fact that we're in a state of constant disruption. Good. So how do we lead in a season like this? You have to practically redefine leadership itself for a start. Okay? So I'm proposing 3 roles that you should play as a leader. Number 1, Be a sense maker. Be a sense maker. Right? I've come to understand that life is about interpretation. Life is about interpretation. In fact, that's a major component of wisdom, perspective. Life is fluid. It's fluid. It is how you see it. Right? It's like it's not fixed. It is how you see it. And we see life differently. We interpret life differently. So for some people, in fact, for most of us in the world, the war between the US and Israel on one side and Iran on the other side is a global problem, right? It's a global problem. For some of the people right now, it's an opportunity. You know the people I'm talking about? The ones that sell their munitions, the companies that manufacture and sell their munitions, the drones, the missiles, the aircraft to the governments, the ones that sell the uniforms to the armies, that sell food to the armies, the military, the armies that are fighting the wars, all sorts, right? Different dimensions to it, right? Communication equipment and so on. So as a leader, wisdom is a huge requirement. The use of the imagination and deep reflection, very important in a season like this. The use of your intuition, very important. Be sensitive to your feelings, be sensitive to the spontaneous ideas that come to you at this time. And then history becomes very, very important, right? You've got to do research. Has this happened before? Right? Has this happened before? How did it go? What were the factors that influenced the outcome? What did people do? How did governments respond? What's the best way to respond in a scenario like this? That's why I call the leader the sense maker. In fact, leaders take this interpretation thing so seriously that we learn to interpret weak signals when things are just beginning to evolve. You know, before the first bomb was thrown in the current war, there had been movement of warships, movement of aircraft, and so on. Leaders don't take those things lightly. You hear something on the news, right? Or you read something online, you pick it while it is still on the fringes. The average person is going on with their lives. For you, you're already interpreting. Have you watched weather channels before? When they pick a hurricane on the Atlantic, right? Right from the Atlantic, as the thing is beginning to form, as the storm is beginning to form, they pick it. Have you noticed they usually develop models? They say this is the European model, this is the American model, and they begin to predict the trajectory of the hurricane so that people can prepare themselves ahead. That's what leaders do, right? That's what leaders do. Early on, when the COVID pandemic started, I did something like that, right? And first, I went online and began to read about the Spanish flu, because a number of years before that, somebody had written a book warning the world that the pandemic, a global pandemic, happens at about 100 years, at about every 100 years. President George Bush read a copy. You know, he got a copy before it was even released, and he was on break at his ranch in Texas. He read the book, got back to Washington, D.C., and called the health experts together, called the scientists, and they began to work. They stuck stockpiled oxygen tanks, masks, all sorts. Nothing happened for several years. And many of those things even expired. And then the pandemic hit. Okay? So it wasn't something that had never happened before. It's just that there were only few people alive that were alive the last time it happened. And that meant that there was a lot of uncertainty about it. Fine. So I read up a lot about the Spanish flu. And then I also then did a little bit of research on Nigeria and how the British government responded to the Spanish flu. And I was surprised. I was surprised to see that a professor of history had done some research and he had gotten some things from the British archives. It was amazing. I saw the names of the ships. Now it was sea travel, right? Then that was predominant. So the flu came through the West African coast and to Nigeria by ship. They wrote the names of the ships that brought people that were sick with the flu. The first one, the second one, the third one, how the ports authority responded, how the government responded. As I read and saw that, they shut down markets, they shut down schools, they even shut down churches. It was like, wow. Because these things were happening and we were thinking, oh my God, it was like the whole world was coming to an end. But it was amazing. I saw that there is nothing new under the sun. Some of these things had happened before. Okay? So, what am I saying? As a leader, you need to be a sense maker. When there's a lot of uncertainty, when there's a lot of ambiguity, as a leader, introduce clarity. I think it really, really allayed the fears of a lot of people when I was able to point out, look, it's nothing bizarre. It's happened before. This was how they responded then. It's going to be temporary. It will pass. It's going to go. Okay? So, because you're going to be giving a lot of instructions, you're going to be giving a lot of direction, it's important that you provide context like that so that people can understand where you're coming from and where you're going. Okay? As a leader, be a sense maker. Be a sense maker. You'll be amazed how much information is that. In fact, you'll be amazed how many people had predicted that this war was going to happen. You'll be amazed. And it's all there online. People had predicted for years that it was going to happen. Right? And some people actually have models, right, that they have developed by which they are already proposing how the war could go. And you need to pay attention to that. It's very, very important. So as a leader, be a sense maker, okay? Secondly, be a stabilizer. Be a stabilizer. As a leader, be a stabilizer. You can't afford to be the one that is panicking, the one that is overwhelmed. You will throw confusion into your family or into your organization or into the team that you lead. So you need to provide what we call emotional grounding. You need to provide stability. Okay? Provide stability. Keep people stable. Let me bring in my experience as a student of the Bible here, right? Because some of you know, right? One part of my job is that of pastor, but here I'm the leadership coach, okay? Anyway, so one of the most famous leaders in human history is Moses, right? And you have this particular scenario where he was leading this large number of people, right, from Egypt to the promised land, and they came across the Red Sea, and fear, panic just went through the whole crowd. In fact, they began to say, oh my God, we're dead. were dead. Oh my God. Why? Because the king of Egypt and a large army was coming behind them, and right in front of them was the Red Sea. The way Moses dealt with it just describes what I'm trying to say here, being stabilizer. He said to everybody, calm down, relax. Nothing is going to happen. Listen, it is God that's going to fight for you. You guys won't even need to lift a finger. You know the amazing thing? After he had said that and calmed everybody down, then it is recorded that he went to a private place and now cried out to God, oh my God, what am I going to do? That's amazing, right? As a leader, people are watching you. People are taking a cue from you, right? Where the head goes, that's where the rest of the body goes. You can't afford to distribute discouragement through your team. No. You can't afford to spread discouragement. Create trust in the midst of uncertainty. And you know, I mentioned something that you need to pay attention to earlier. I said in a season like this, you need to pay attention to your intuition. Intuition. All of us have that inner teacher. I promise you. We have that sensitivity. Some people call it the sixth sense. We have the capacity to pick things beyond the capacity of the rational brain. Pay attention to it. So I like how Moses tapped in and declared there was going to be a breakthrough. Something positive was we're going to find a way through this thing. And then he turns aside and then goes to express his own emotions in prayer to God. That's it. Be a stabilizer. Be the calm in the midst of the storm. And finally, for today, you've got to be a catalyst. As a leader, you need to be a catalyst. Okay? Remember what I said. Everybody sees this thing as a problem. As a leader, you've got to see it as an opportunity. Problem and opportunity are the same thing. During the COVID experience, some people made money that they had never made before. The same thing with this war that is going on right now. Some people are becoming billionaires from it. So while everybody is running away, that's what makes a leader a leader. While everybody is running away from the crisis, we run towards the crisis. Because solving problems, that's what brings our promotion, right? Good. So, in the midst of the chaos, it's not a time to hide. It's not a time to shrink. It's actually a time to move forward, right? You've got to be proactive. Lead change. Lead the change process. Of course, someone said, when the music changes, you change your dance steps. So you can't continue to do things the way you were doing them before. Yes. So lead the change. AI is changing everything. Be proactive about it, leader. Be proactive about it. Somebody needs to take some training, right? We need to develop some policies around AI and so on. What do we need to change? Be proactive, right? In the midst of the change, encourage experimentation. In the season of disruption, encourage experimentation. This is not the time to shout people down because they have new ideas. This is not the time to kill ideas, okay? Encourage experimentation. In fact, what you should rather challenge is complacency. Don't allow people to to sit on their errors, you know. Don't allow people to be lazy. Don't allow people to be in a state where they don't want to think, they don't want to be creative. That's not allowable in a season like this, okay? Yes. So, what have we said? Dear leader, be the sense maker, be the stabilizer, and be the catalyst for change. Be the catalyst for innovation. Encourage ideas. Do brainstorming with your people. Identify the opportunities that are coming with the changes that are happening, and then create solutions, products, services, right? Network, and move forward. This is not the time to shrink in fear. This is the time to expand. I hope this is helpful to someone. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you. As some of us are aware, yes, my latest book is titled Shift. Shifts, 6 steps to transform your mindset and elevate your leadership. More than ever before, what you want to be able to do in a season like this is actually to multiply your influence. In seasons of disruption like this, there's a redistribution of influence, redistribution of power, redistribution of resources. Okay, so this is the time for you to take your social media page seriously, right? Yes. Speak up. Speak on an important subject. This is a time for your voice to be heard. It's a time when you need to be contrarian. People will not listen to you if you are saying the same thing that everybody is saying. Do you have a unique perspective? There's a way your mind works that is different from the way that of everybody else works. Say it. Okay? Say it. Speak up. Right now. Let people know you for something. Let people know you for something. Okay? This is a time to build your influence. And this is a time to use it positively. All right? Good. If you have a question for me, please put it in the chat room. If you have a question for me, can you put it in the chat room? I'll answer 1 or 2 before we go, because we're running out of time now. All right. Okay. Oh, thank you. Oh, Angel. Wish I could get shipped in Zimbabwe. My husband and I listen to Pastor Simon. Our lives are changing. Oh, that's amazing. Does Amazon deliver to Zimbabwe at all? And there's a possibility that some bookshops in South Africa may have shipped. That's about the only means that I can think about right now. But thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Ifyok, I got premium value. Thank you. Kenny's asking, as a leader, how do you manage discouragement and unwilling followers? That's a big question there, and a good one. Personally, how do you manage discouragement? Wow, good question. Okay, so discouragement is an attitude, right? It's a feeling, right? How do you shift from negative to positive emotions? That's important, right? At this point in time, your feelings, your emotions are controlling your thoughts. Now you need to use your thoughts to control your emotions, right? Go into memory recall. Go back into challenges that you have had in the past and where you came through, right? It's very important. Very important. Tap into your memory, okay? And remind yourself you've been through challenges before and you've come through them. And all of a sudden, you find out you'll be able to project this one too. I'll be able to make it through. Secondly, you need like a mastermind group, right? You need to have people around you that are solid, that love you, care about you, and have a solid attitude, right? Solid character. At that moment, when you are beginning to forget who you are and how powerful you are and how blessed you are, you need some people to speak to you. right? And to encourage you. That's really, really, really also important for you as a leader. If you can, take a little time off. You can't be giving from an empty store, right? So if you're finding yourself already in that kind of a space, don't continue to push, right? Take a little bit of time off, and that would even help the reflection process, okay? I hope that helps. How do you manage unwilling followers? If they are unwilling as a group, take them apart one by one. By the time people join your team, usually they've experienced a lot of trauma in life. Help them to jump over those obstacles in their minds and in their emotions, okay? A lot of us have had trauma in life, and you need to sell them a vision. You need to listen to them first, find out what their fears are, and find out what their motivations are. Then put their greatest motivations inside your vision. Let them know it is by going along with you that actually their highest aspirations will be fulfilled in life. Vision needs to be sold, right? Sell them a vision. That's how they come with you. Now, everybody is not going to follow you, right? So that's the truth. Everybody is not going to follow you. And there are some people you will just have to move ahead and leave them behind. They may have been good enough for your past, but not good enough for your present or for your future, okay? It's very important so that you don't invest too much energy in people that are not going anywhere. How can a leader be more proactive in an extremely volatile economy? Good question. I'll encourage you get a leadership consultant to lead you and your team in what we call scenario planning. Scenario planning. It's a discipline that was developed by the Shell Corporation beginning from 1952. They saw how volatile the oil and gas industry was going to be, and they decided to be proactive. They got some PhD holders, and those ones said, look, this is the problem with planning. Most people and organizations always plan for one possible scenario, and that scenario assumes that things are going to be the way they are now. But then some things can show up and blindside an organization, and they can even kill an organization, okay? So they then decided, or they advised Shell, it's better to plan for multiple scenarios. So we do this for people that are part of our mastermind group. In fact, we did it some weeks ago, and those are part of our high-level coaching community, C-suite leaders. We do this with them. Some organizations also ask us to come in, and we do it with them, and we explore how technology, what are the potential disruptions that may just show up in the area of technology going through this year. What of the economy? What of politics? What of government? Right? What are the things that can happen in government that can create problems? What of the social sector? What of climate, the weather, and things like that? So yes, scenario planning is the way to go for leaders. We apply it even to our plans in our family. How do we bring more value to others with our time? Prioritizing. Everything you're doing does not have the same level of importance, okay? So you've really got to be able to look at the things you're doing and to attach importance to them, and then just invest most of your time in the things that are most important. The other things, delegate them, or sometimes practically kill them. Yeah. Because when you devote your time to the things that you do that make the greatest impact on people, that's when you're productive. It's either you're creating a product or you are creating a service. It's either you are creating a product or you are creating a service. For the people on your own team, you are creating vision, right? You are creating vision because your organization or your team actually grows inside your head as a leader, right? Grows in your head and heart. So you add massive value to your team when you have time, when you devote time to thinking, to planning, to dreaming, to visioning, right? And then you devote time to training. Apply the Pareto principle. If you're going to prioritize, apply the Pareto principle. It is 20% of what you're doing that is giving you 80% of your results. Can you identify the 20% that's giving you most of your results? Then devote 80% of your time to that, right? Exactly. So once in a while as a leader, you have to keep reviewing what you're doing, find out, determine the 20% and the 80%, delegate the 80% or kill it or kill some of it. Take the 20%, do 5 times of that, right? Do more of that. With that, you continue to reinvent yourself and to add massive value. First, from your thinking, your innovation, your imagination, your visioning. And then from your investment in people, you add massive value when you train people, when you mentor people, especially as a leader, right? Good. Wow, interesting question. How can I become a good leader? I am just 24 years old. Oh, you know what? I am so proud of you. So proud of you that at 24, you are attending a leadership event like this. I am so proud of you, right? You are preparing for the opportunities that are coming ahead of you. So what do you do? So this is the starting point. You're already doing something right. You had that something had to do with leadership and you showed up. That says something about you already. So learning, yes. I'll tell you 3 areas to focus on. Let's call them the 3 C's. Your character, your capacity for love and everything that goes with love. Capacity to be kind, capacity for generosity, capacity for tolerance of other people's weaknesses, right? Your capacity for kindness, your capacity for humility, one of the most important qualities of a leader. Okay? Good. So, your character, self-discipline. The other is competence. By now, you should have a line of career, right? Find your way to the top in your country, in your environment, where be the best. Okay, go for excellence. Go for excellence. Okay, high level of competence. In your have your vision at your mind. Like many years ago, I asked myself a question: if you had the opportunity to stand before the President of the United States for 5 minutes, what are you going to say? Right? And that influenced how I've been developing myself and my skills, right? And the third one is capacity. Capacity, right? Don't get satisfied too soon. Don't be a local champion, right? Start from there, but don't stay there. Go from local to national, go from national to global. Okay? I hope that helps, right? All right. Just one or two more. Sorry, we're out of time. Okay, good. What do you do when it feels as though you're not being creative, especially within a work set? There are only a few things that can be responsible. If you feel like you're not being creative, your brain is not generating ideas the way you would want, one, you may be on the wrong job. You are talented. You are gifted. Is the work that you are doing in alignment with your talent? All of us are creative. So, our world is structured, organized in a way that makes us to believe that few people are superstars, the rest of us are spectators. Hello. Like only people are superstars. I use the illustration of a football stadium, right? A soccer stadium. 22 people running around, kicking this leather that is filled with air. Another 3 people officiating, running up and down. And then you have tens of thousands of people on the stands as spectators. That seems to represent the way life is, but that's not the design. That's not how it's supposed to be. Find your talent. Find your gift. Let me encourage you, especially if you're a young person. One of the things that gives young people the greatest frustration and anxiety in this world is having to do work that is not in alignment with what you studied in school. Look, leave it. A lot of us adults are doing things today that are not directly what we read in the university, okay? Education is just basic to sharpen your inner faculties to solve real life problems. When it gets to solving those real life problems, some of us will find out what you studied in school is perfectly in alignment with your talents and your gifts. And for many, it won't be in alignment. The best thing for you to do, this world pays phenomenally for talent. Phenomenally for talent, especially when the talent has been turned into skill. So, are you really working in line with your talent? If you haven't yet, run this test, right? Go to 16personalities.com, 16, figures 16, then personalities.com. Run the assessment there. See how they describe your personality type, and then see everything else they will say about the kind of career you should be in and so on. The other possibility, if you're not being creative, is if you are tired, if you are burnt out, right? If you are overwhelmed with work and you don't have time to think. Now, that's not the way to work. Most of your creative moments on any job will be when you are not on the job, when your mind is free from routine. That's when some of your most creative ideas will come. I found out that some of my most creative ideas have come while I was on vacation, right? So for me, vacation, I said vacation is no longer an expense. It's now an investment. So for our family, it's an investment. Because when my mind is free like that, I'm amazed at the kind of ideas that come. So that's why we have the day of rest in the holy books, right? 1 day out of 7. So you've got to have those times when you rest off the job and you can think. At the same time, make sure you're reading, make sure you're watching videos on YouTube, because ideas from other people strike up ideas in your own mind. Well, I hope that helps. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of our broadcast today. It's getting late for some of us, I know. So has this been helpful at all? The website is 16personalities, not personality, 16personalities.com. 16 personalities.com. Thank you. Has this been helpful? If it has, can you help me to type a yes in the chat room? Yes, just yes. If I get 5 yeses, I'll like it. Okay, I'll be satisfied. This was worth the while. I have some beautiful announcements coming. So please do watch out for our emails or announcements on social media for the next edition of the Leadership Live. Our team is cooking some good things, right? I wish you all the best in all of your endeavors. I pray for God's protection for you and for everyone and for your loved ones. And we're coming to the end of Q1, the first quarter in the year. And it is my sincere desire and prayer that the second quarter will be a better one for you. It's Easter in a few days. Happy Easter, everyone, to you and your family. Bye for now. When we all live here, we want a scenario where we are able to shift things on a mass scale. A big thank you to Mr. Olajide for sharing and pouring out his heart today. Please, let's appreciate him. Dr. Nike is a born communicator. Amazing, amazing delivery. Thank you. There's an emotional dimension to change, right? Value shifts threaten identity. Thank you for listening to me, and thank you for attending the Shift Conference 2026.